like the pull-ups just kept on going off in the first 2 months. My mom and sister, they were like, has your back grown?
I mean, it's just crazy the
Mhm.
progress he made. This is Mike, and in only 3 months he managed to build the aesthetic physique he'd been chasing for years. And he went from struggling even with the basics
Before I could do like around six to eight dips with bad form.
to unlocking strength he never thought was possible.
Well, currently I'm working towards 20 kg weighted dips with around 7 reps.
Since we started working together, it wasn't just his training that changed. Every single aspect of his life just changed for the better as well. And in terms of how your life changed, what do you say to someone in that
Just
same
generally better in every aspect.
Today we sat down and broke down exactly how he did it, the training, the mindset, and pretty much everything that brought him the results that you're about to see. Taking back to before we started working together, what was your training and life like day to day? Just walk me through like your typical week.
Well, I feel like in terms of difference, I definitely had like less routine built into my week in terms of fitness. Like I didn't have set days I would do the workouts. Instead, I would just be going to the gym whenever I had free time. And that eventually led to a point when I wasn't going consistently. And in terms of food, I wasn't really paying attention that much. Like I knew the importance of nutrition and stuff just from self-educating. But I think after working with you, it really helped, like, firstly, build more self-discipline into my day-to-day and my week, and also help me prepare better and stick to a more routine structure. And that also helps with other aspects of my life, such as education and
Love it, bro.
health and managing like my workflow and stuff.
So because you mentioned you weren't really consistent like in the beginning with the fitness and all of that because you were going to the gym, how did you feel about your physique when that was the case?
Honestly, kind of, it's because I have been going for like a year, but due to my inconsistencies and my diet that was holding me back, it was like I was gaining strength, but I wasn't gaining as much as I could have if I stuck to like a proper routine and had a good diet. So it kind of was just like, it felt like a waste of a year in a way. Obviously, there were good things such as like I started on the fitness journey, but
Of course.
yeah, it was kind of not really demotivating, but kind of not motivating to not be getting the results that you wanted from yourself, especially after such a, I guess, long period of time. I definitely, like reflecting back on it, I felt like I could have done more in that year and pushed myself more.
And what about your strength? In terms of your strength, like reps, holds, skills, how did everything look like before?
In terms of pull-ups, I could do about one without good form before I started working with you. In terms of dips, I could do dips, but they were like the gym bro kind of form dips, like not the proper Cali dips. And everything
Like
else,
the
my
kind of
core
stiff
was
dips.
definitely, yeah. My core was definitely my weakest upper body muscle group, and yeah, that changed a lot for
Man,
sure.
just looking back into it when you were in that level, I mean, it's just crazy the progress you made. Before we started, how did your university and I guess your work, when you did, affect your training?
Well, it was more like because so it was like my lectures were really spread out during my uni week, and then I found it already hard to wake up for 9 a.m.s, which is really bad at the time. 9 a.m. lectures, and gym felt like a completely like separate thing that I had to add on to this already kind of stressful day to day. And I think one good thing about calisthenics is you can literally do it anywhere. All you need is like equipment, and then you can even do it from home if you have like a pull-up bar or even a towel for some people, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, that's definitely one of the big differences from before and now.
Yeah, love it, brother. So for you, what was the thing that kept you up at night? Like, what were you more stressed about in terms of your physical condition, any aspect?
I think it was less so about my physique, more so about my health, because at the time I was self-inflicting sleep deprivation on myself basically every night. And then starting Cali in a way, because I wanted to maximize like the gains and the strength and stuff that I got, like it made my sleep better indirectly because I was like more consciously thinking about like I should go to sleep and yeah, feel better for the next day.
Love it, brother. So what was the thing that made you kind of feel behind or stuck?
It was definitely like the sense of, in terms of Cali, I didn't know how to like make progressions. So I knew like some basic, obviously like push up and the basic exercises, pull up, but I didn't know how to progress them and keep on building them like you do with progressive overload in the gym. So I think that's one big thing that was kind of hindering progress. And yeah, you were a big help with that part of it for sure.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. And when did you realize figuring it out alone isn't the best way to go about it?
I feel like definitely it's much better having a mentor that has experienced the same things. Well, I'm guessing like we've all had the same thoughts, right? So having someone that understands how you think and is you're keeping in contact with, so they understand like how you're progressing and kind of what limitations are holding you back. It's more helpful than if you just try to work through the problems yourself. Obviously, some people can, but I feel like it's very difficult to manage all these things as well as stuff outside of fitness. But yeah, that's one big benefit of having a coach or a mentor.
Before you
Yeah.
joined and before we started working together, did you try to fix something, for example, with other programs, other YouTube tutorials, or anything like that?
But yeah. In terms of like individual exercises, obviously I watched a lot of form videos, but what I found was a lot of the time, different videos may have like different correct or perfect form, right? So yeah, that was a kind of a big thing that was confusing. Obviously, I had a good general idea of how to perform exercises, but in terms of body weight or exercises that I hadn't attempted yet, it was much harder.
Yeah, gotcha. It's overloaded with misinformation all
Yeah.
over the internet. So you have to know the stuff. And I guess apart from that, why didn't those work? The routines you followed and the videos.
Yeah, I mean, it was all just a bit confusing because, like I said, everyone says kind of different things,
Yeah,
and some
gotcha.
people even just spread like misinformation just to get like more attention from viewers and stuff, like rage baiting, if you will.
And in terms of that, what was missing? Like structure, progressions, accountability. Like what do you feel was the most important thing that was missing from what
I
you
think
wanted?
most important was progressions. Obviously, structure was really important as well, but I feel like structure can be done a lot by yourself as well if you really put in the work. But progressions is something that you need kind of an expert advice on. And accountability, it's always better to have someone else to hold you accountable. Obviously, you have to have like really good self-discipline and hold yourself accountable, but it's easier with someone close to you who's has like the same motivations as you pushing you.
Yeah, I
So yeah,
understand.
I think progressions than the other two.
And did you feel overwhelmed by too much conflicting information that you mentioned?
I mean, I always try to filter out different information, and I kind of in my mind select the one that I think looks or feels the most right. So I don't think that was that big of an issue for me. But like I said, for body weight, there's like a whole heap of different ways of doing each exercise. And I feel like because I haven't done the exercise much myself in terms of calisthenics, that's why it was more confusing than a gym, for example.
Yeah, guys. What was the specific moment or situation that made you say, I need to do something different?
Well, for me, I think it was maybe a bit different to other people in terms of I spend money really unproductively. So I feel like I needed to do something that would actually benefit myself. And yeah, so that was the main reason behind this choice.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you first looked at Callaway and my personal coaching, what
Yeah.
were you worried about? And I guess almost stopped you from joining.
Recording. I hate recording, especially in like public
Really?
spaces. Yeah. But yeah, that quickly went away after like a week. So I think
Because
it's more
everything
like
looked
a in your
supernatural, man.
mind kind of thing.
Yeah, but for you, everything looked supernatural. It was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And in terms of any price concerns, maybe time concerns, or
Not
anything
really.
else,
I
like
don't have any.
what ultimately made you decide to actually take the leap and invest into yourself? The thing that's made you say, okay, I'm just doing this.
Well, firstly, I thought calisthenics looks cool. And if I want to try something, same with other things in my life, I want to go for it like 100%. Like I don't want to half-hearted it, you know? So that was kind of the big reason. And as well as obviously functional strength to me is more important than how would you call it in the gym, like unnatural movement, unnatural strength. In terms of other aspects of my life, I personally feel like I have them more in my control. And fitness and health was like the one thing I felt was holding back me and other aspects of my life. So that was kind of the biggest reason why I just wanted to get in control of my body and how it functions, as well as my health in terms of like sleep and other stuff that come from these programs.
When you joined, what was the first changes that you noticed? And like the moment that you started thinking, okay, this is actually working.
When I could crack a nail sit in for 30 seconds after like a month, and then like the pull-ups just kept on going off in the first 2 months. So, and then in terms of physique, like even my mom and sister, they were like, has your back grown?" Definitely those were like some key highlights from the
Yeah, for
earlier
sure, bro. I
months.
can see that. But also the
Yeah.
thing is with LSIT, when it came to me, it was like that you thought that your core is your weakness, but then after 2 weeks, you cracked a 10-second L sit, bro.
I think my core was my weakness. I just wasn't like training it in the right way. Like, if you remember, I could only do about 5 leg raises with really bad form on the dip bars. So yeah, that improvement was like so quick. It was kind of crazy.
And was there a specific moment or week where everything clicked, where you felt like you turned the corner?
Definitely after the first month and a half, I felt like I was in the rhythm of things. I didn't need to not I wouldn't say not for me to think so much because obviously you have to focus on form and stuff during the exercises, but everything came more naturally after around a month.
After the 1 month mark.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And what specific systems or frameworks from the program made the biggest difference for you? What did you find the most useful in your case?
In my case, it was the access I had to talk to you like throughout the day. In terms of if I had questions, you reply really fast, and also the strategy calls. I think that's a big one because we can just discuss any problems that we have during the week. Those are really helpful for me for improving like form, and you in general help keep me very accountable. So yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, I appreciate you. That's what I do.
You
And
too.
in terms of the other things, for example, having everything laid out, clear, simple structure, not taking time, what did you find useful about it?
Yeah, I felt like I had more of a routine that I could follow without thinking too much about planning my fitness throughout the week myself. So yeah.
How important was it having me in your corner? And can you give me a specific example of when that made a difference for you?
Yeah, in terms of like slumps and down points in motivation, you were always there to help lift my spirits again, as well as if I had concerns about, for example, my reps going down between workouts, you would always be there to reassure and yeah, stuff like that, little stuff like that really does actually make a difference.
At the end of the day, it's not true. You just have to manage it the right way and everything is going to be smooth. Where were you in terms of reps, skills, and physique before compared to now?
Yeah, so before I could do like around 6 to 8 dips with bad form. Now I can, well, currently I'm working towards 20 kg weighted dips with around 7 reps. Core, like I said, it was around 5 leg raises on the dip bars with bad form. And now 30-second hanging L sit hold pull-ups. It was around 1 with bad form. Now it's around 9 without weights, and then a couple less with 5 kg weighted.
And in terms of visible muscle and like the kgs that you put on,
I feel like I'm definitely leaner than before, even though I have put on weight, which is a very good sign. My back feels much wider. Some of the old t-shirts I own are becoming more tight.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, mostly those two.
Right, perfect. In terms of sleep, you mentioned that you weren't really good with your sleep schedule.
Yeah.
So like, what was the difference between before and after joining? How did your sleep schedule change?
It was kind of like before I don't know if you've heard of it, but I had a thing called like sleep procrastination where you just like keep on staying awake just for the sake of staying awake.
That's crazy, being lazy to sleep.
Yeah, yeah. It is crazy if you put it that way. But since I started this and the fact that I'm putting in quite a bit of money, it was kind of like I need to make the most out of these 6 months. So that's when I really got my sleep in check. And it has had like really big effects on the rest.
Perfect, perfect. And what did you get out of our work together that you didn't actually expect upon joining?
I think the amount of access I have to you, whether it be Instagram or a different platform, in terms of asking for advice throughout the day, I think that's one I didn't expect much of. I was expecting like the calls, obviously, every week, but not this much access to like a gold mine of information. Yeah.
Love it, love it. And if you were speaking to someone in the same exact situation like you, so being stressed out with work, uni, not having a good sleep schedule and all of that, so pretty much you, like 3 to 6 months ago, what would you tell them?
I think if you're thinking of and you have the financial ability to invest in a coach, you should definitely do it. Definitely if you're like me and you spend money on stuff that's not so productive, definitely just go for it. I think that's the one big thing I would say.
And in terms of how your life changed, apart from that, what would you say to someone in that
Just
same
generally better in every aspect.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So now the golden question: would you recommend alleyway coaching and why?
Yes, I definitely would recommend it because it helps keep you in a good routine, definitely for busy people as well. It's like the workouts are designed to have less time than you would normally spend in like long gym sessions, which is good for people that have hectic schedules like me. The results you see will be amazing if you put in the work, and
For sure.
you'll have an amazing coach to keep you accountable. And also, if you have questions, he's always there. And yeah.
No, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
If you could tell only someone one thing about working with me and pretty much about this whole program, what would it be?
I think trustworthy would be like the one word to describe it. Like you are getting everything you're paying for, and in my experience, more. So yeah, have some trust.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Where do you think you'd be right now if you hadn't joined? And what would the next 90 days of your life look like?
I think I would have just continued in like the 1 year period I talked about when I was not making much progress and kind of lost on what to do. And I feel like this has kind of given me a good direction. And yeah, without it, I can be lost.
What's the biggest thing that changed for you since joining the program?
More structured of a routine with more benefits to every aspect of life.
Perfect, perfect. And if you go back and tell yourself something before joining this program, what would you tell yourself exactly?
Make the move and have trust. I was definitely lost in terms of my fitness direction progression. Now I have definitely a clear path of what needs to be done and how I should progress and move forward.
What would you say to someone who's on the face of joining?
I would say if you're even considering it, you already have like a good idea of what you need to do. So just trust yourself and yeah, make the move.
How to describe your progress in one sentence? What's your biggest win?
Biggest win, going from having a weak core and only being able to do around one pull-up with bad form to being able to crack like L-sit pull-ups in the space of 4 months.
That's all I'm saying, bro.